So I built a $500,000 video production business. Revenue was up, clients were happy. By every metric that matters in the entrepreneurship world, I got it. I was doing the thing, right? But here's what nobody saw. And I imagine you could probably relate to this as a business owner, is that I was working 70 hours a week. I was exhausted by Thursday. I hadn't taken a real vacation without my laptop in years. And my wife and I were in marriage counseling because I was physically present, but mentally gone. And I was completely spent at the end of every day. I had built a successful business that was slowly destroying my life. The worst part is that I knew it and I didn't know what to do to get out of it. And it was at that point that I was ready to quit, and I almost just threw away all of it. But if you're a business owner who's making good money but feeling like something's broken, this video might change how you see everything. Here's the trap most entrepreneurs fall into, and I fell into hard. We're told that success looks like growth, more revenue, more clients, more. So we optimize for more, and we're good at it. Revenue goes up, the business grows. But nobody tells you that you can win the game and still lose. Because here's what happens. You build a business that makes money, but it costs you everything else. Your energy, your time, your family, and your health. The worst part is, for most of us, we don't notice it happening. It's gradual. You give up Saturday mornings, then evenings, then vacations, and you bring your laptop with you after the kids go down, then presents at dinner. And one day you wake up and realize that you've built something that owns you instead of serves you. That was where I was, making $300,000 top line, $400,000, even $500,000 in revenue in video production work, and completely broke in every way that actually mattered. I couldn't stop checking my email, my laptop was with me on vacation, and I couldn't stop always being in work mode. So I finally had enough, and I developed a framework to fix it, and I call it the 4 margins. A margin is the space between your capacity and your demand. It's the buffer, the breathing room, the reserve. And there are 4 margins that determine whether your business serves your life or it completely consumes it. The first margin is the energy margin. This is your capacity to show up fully, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and creatively. When your energy margin is gone, you're running on fumes, you're tired, you finish the work, and you have absolutely nothing left for the people you love. You're doing the work, but there's no life in it. I lost my energy margin because I was doing work that drained me, even work I was good at. I'm a really great video editor as part of the video production process, but it drains the life out of me. And we even called it editing energy in our house because I just had this terrible attitude in my home because I was editing all day that day, and it just drained me. I imagine in your business, there's probably something that you're really great at as well. But this is where we have to start looking at and auditing. Is that thing that maybe I'm good at, does it actually give me energy or does it take it away? Here's the insight that changed everything in this department. Just because you're skilled at something doesn't mean it gives you energy. I was optimizing for what I was good at, not what actually gave me energy and filled me up. Margin number 2, time margin. This is the hours available for what matters, not what's urgent. When your time margin is gone, you're busy all the time, but never moving forward. Every day is reactive. You're putting out fires instead of building systems. You feel like you're running just to stay in place. I was working 70 hours a week, and when I audited my calendar and looked at where I was actually spending my time, so many of those hours were in meetings or in tasks that I could have delegated, or work that shouldn't have even existed at all. I didn't have a time problem, I had a leak problem. Look at your calendar. Are there blocked off sections of time where nobody can get to you, to where you can actually do focused work? Is there a blocked out time just for you to respond to emails so you're not checking them all day long? These are the types of things that we have to do in order to get our time margin back. Now, let's talk about margin number 3, the profit margin. Not gross profit, real profit, the money left after you've paid yourself fairly and set aside for taxes. When your profit margin is gone, you're generating revenue but not building wealth. You're busy but not rich. The business is successful, but your net worth isn't growing. I made $300,000 in top line revenue one year and only took home $110,000. After taxes and reinvestment, I was building the business but not building wealth. I was a hamster on a revenue wheel. All right, margin number 4, family margin. This is your presence with the people you love. Not just being in the room, but actually being there. When your family margin is gone, you're physically present, but you're mentally absent. Your spouse feels like they're competing with your phone, your kids get the scraps of your attention, and the thing you're building for your family is actually destroying it. The inability for me to look at these different areas of margin and actually understand how it was affecting my family made me almost lose my marriage. And when we went to counseling, that was a wake-up call. When my wife was telling me, I feel like a single parent even though you're here. That's when I knew something had to be different and I had to make a change. Here's the hard truth. You can lose one margin and recover. You can lose 2 and survive, but when you lose all 4, like I did, you're headed for a crash. Here's the thing about margins. They're connected, so when you lose energy, you work longer to compensate, which costs time. When you lose time, you cut corners on systems, which cuts profit. When you lose profit, you stress out about money, which costs family presence. And when you lose family, the reason you started all this in the first place, it's a death spiral. And most entrepreneurs don't see it until they're at the bottom. One of the big turning points for me was we went on a vacation to the beach several years ago when my daughter was really little, and I had my laptop and my full setup with me. And every night I was downstairs working on edits. I even spent half the day one morning when they were all at the beach working on edits, doing stuff for the business. And I was like, hold on, I'm 3 or 4 years into this and I am still sabotaging a vacation because I haven't built the right systems in place to where I could actually be away. That was the moment that I had realized I built a $500,000 a year business top line, but was losing everything it was supposed to give me. When we got back, I wrote down 4 questions. They were, do I have energy left at the end of the day? Do I have time for what actually matters? Am I building wealth or just generating revenue? And does my family feel like they have access to me? The answer to all 4 of those was unfortunately no. That's when I decided to just tear it down and rebuild something else. Not the business, but myself. So here's what I want you to do with this. Step number 1, rate yourself honestly on each margin, 1 to 10. For energy, when you finish work, do you have fuel left in the tank? What tasks are you doing that when you are doing them, time feels like it just goes away? What tasks are you doing that at the end of it, you are so drained, you never want to do it again? Ask yourself those things, write those down and begin to audit what you're good at and what gives you energy. When it comes to time, do you have hours for strategic thinking and personal priorities? Are there protected blocks on your calendar where people can't get to you so you can focus? For profit, are you building net worth or are you just building revenue because you don't have any systems in place and things are going out all over the place and you don't put profit first? And for family, do the people you love feel like they actually have access to you? Not a, hey, how you doing while you're checking your phone, but actually, are you present for them? If any of these is below a 5, that's your starting point. That's the margin that's bleeding. The second step is identify the lowest margin. You can't fix all of these at once. That's really overwhelming and you'll quit. So pick the one that's most broken and start there. For me, it was energy. I was doing work, editing, that drained me every single day and I had a terrible attitude. Until I fixed that, nothing else could improve. And then step 3, protect before you optimize. Before you try to get more of anything, stop the bleeding. Figure out what's draining that margin and eliminate it. For energy, what tasks drain you that you need to stop doing? For time, what's on your calendar that shouldn't be there? For profit, where is money leaking out of your business? And for family, what boundaries do you need to set and ultimately enforce so you can protect it? You can't fill a bucket with a hole in it. You have to find the hole first. All right, so here's what I want you to do right now. In the comments, tell me which margin is your lowest: energy, time, profit, or family. I'm gonna read every single comment and I'll reply with what I think your next step should be. If this framework resonated with you, I'm building out more content on each specific margin, how to audit it, how to protect it, and how to rebuild it when it's gone. Subscribe so you don't miss these videos. And if you know another entrepreneur who's successful on paper but struggling in real life, send them this video and it might be a wake-up call that they needed. All right, we'll see you in the next one.